fastest growing sports, FastCAT. If you haven't heard of it yet, it's fantastic. This is the sport for your dog if chasing squirrels is their favorite pastime. It showcases your dog's speed and gives them an outlet for their prey drive in a way that won't have you cleaning up dead animal later. In this video, we're going to cover everything you need to know about FastCAT, the history, how scoring works, handicaps, and what you need to bring to a trial. We'll go through a couple premiums and show you how to find trials and fun runs near you. This will be a beginner guide to the sports with timestamps in the description so you can move around to the info you need. Stick around to the end for a chance to get a printable of this information. Now let's grab a notepad and pen and dive into the world of FastCAT. Starting with a brief history of the sport, FastCAT, CAT standing for Coursing Ability Test, was introduced in the early 1990s in the United States. It was designed to allow dogs of all breeds and mixes to participate in a sport, creating an entry point for beginners to the dog sports world. The sport has gained in popularity over the last 30 years. In a FastCAT race, your dog will chase a lure, which is referred to as a bunny, made up of a pulley system and up to 3 plastic bags attached. The movement is meant to trigger the prey drive in dogs and get them to chase at top speeds for 100 yards. AKC added FastCAT to their official sports in 2018. Typically, trials are held in large open fields and parks. While not always fenced, they usually will have at least a temporary barrier set up on the race course itself. The timing is done with electric timers. Dogs will run one at a time and can run with a flat collar with no tags or no collar, which you'll hear referred to as running naked, and no harnesses are allowed while the dog is running. You can bring them up to the start in a harness, just they can't run with it. If you're going to run your dog, first things first, get cleared by a vet. You don't want to run a dog that is too young or has unknown issues. Normally when you get into sports, you want to have your vet, or if possible, a sport rehab vet, take a look at your dog and run imaging to make sure that your dog is healthy to run or play the sport. You wouldn't want to run a dog with a luxating patella or a hip dysplasia, as it can do more harm than good for your dog. There are other sports your dog can participate in that are lower impact if your dog has a medical condition. Trial scoring handicaps. What are they? How do they work? And all of the nitty-gritty. This is going to get a bit technical, but I am going to do my best to keep it not boring. As mentioned before, timing is done with electric timers. This is to keep the timing as accurate as possible. The time that the dog completes the run-in is converted to miles per hour with the formula 204.545 divided by your dog's time equals miles per hour. For example, if your dog runs 8.14 seconds, they would be at 25.13 miles per hour. After you get to the mile per hour, you run round to the nearest hundredth of a second. There's also a height handicap. You have a 1 times multiplier if your dog's over 18 inches, a 1.5 multiplier for dogs between 12 to 18 inches, and a 2 times multiplier for dogs under 12 inches. These will get submitted to the AKC and update their standings. What do you bring day of? Is a question I wished I'd asked myself and thought about for more than half a second before I went to my first fun run. In the description, I will add a link to the FastCAT checklist for free on my website. We'll go over that real quick. Essentially, for the dog, bring a crate. If you bring a crate cover, make sure if it's hot, you have a fan or some way to keep the dog cool, because we don't want them overheating. Poop bags, water pail, collars and harnesses, and at least 2 leashes. Very, very important to have 2 leashes per dog, or 2 leashes and run your dogs away from each other. Also, prepare a warm-up routine with your dog. If you can, find a canine fitness specialist to assist. I'll link the website to who we use in the description. Also, food and water for your dog, but I would not advise feeding your dog right before they run. For you, the human, please also don't forget to look at the weather. You're going to want to make sure you bring clothes that are going to be comfortable for you and the weather that's predicted. And if you're going to anything in the Midwest, just pack everything. It'll be easier. You're also going to want to bring food or money for food, snacks, water and drinks, lawn chair / something to sit in or on comfortably between runs while you're waiting. You're also going to want to bring a bag to hold everything and weather protection, sunblock, gloves, hats, boots, etc. Now you're ready to sign up for your first trial. First, we're going to find an event. The closer, the better, honestly, if you're not sure if your dog's going to like it or not. These can be found on Facebook groups, AKC club websites, and AKC search page. Here we're going to go over signing up for an event. First thing we're going to do is get the premium pulled up. If they have an online option, you can use that, and we're going to go over a paper one. If it's a paper one, you're going to have to mail it, meaning for anyone like me, we'll have to go get a check. And I'm not sure about you, but I don't own checks. Last time I had to get one, I just asked my bank to print me one. Some will do it for free, some will charge a couple dollars for it. If you're going to be serious about sports, it's probably worth buying some checks so you have them on hand, as a lot of clubs do prefer the mailed in system. The premium's going to go over the rules for the event and liability and all of that. This one specifically is for my local dog club. It has the club name, location, stakes already filled out. Check which events you might want to join. The breed of the dog, if it's mixed breed, put all American. The amount that's enclosed, the breeder name, if it's a purebred, call name is what you call your dog, so Dolly is Dolly. The AKC number, PAL number, or the foreign listing, dog's date of birth, the dog's gender, the full registered name of the dog, and the dog's height. Add in all the other purebred stuff if that's necessary. The actual owner is you, your address, and if someone else is handling your dog at the trial, make sure to put their name. This one also has a please separate my entries option. This is for if you're running multiple dogs. Add your signature, email, phone number, and you can fill this out on a computer or print it and handwrite it. Personally, I use Adobe Acrobat on my computer and Notability on my iPad. Most of these will tell you what time the meeting at the beginning is, so make sure you're at that meeting or you may forfeit your runs. If you're concerned, contact the organizer of the event via phone or email. And now you're good to go, but here's a quick last-minute tips section. Don't be afraid to talk to people, especially at local events. You can find some awesome people who are always willing to help you out. You might run into some grumpy people, just move on and find somebody else. I brought 2 dogs to my first event and did not know I needed multiple leashes, a lawn chair, or a second person. I met one of my absolutely closest friends now that day. They needed a catcher for their dog, I needed a releaser, and the next event we planned to meet up, and we got to hang out the whole time together. People are usually kind and willing to talk about the event and their experiences. It can be nerve-wracking as a newbie, but this is an entry-level sport for a reason. It's an absolute blast, both for the dogs and the people. Remember, we're all here to have a good time and watch our dogs run as fast as possible and have so much fun. Good luck this season.